Hi everyone, I am here today with a really fun card that incorporates lots of technique. This is the card I'll be making today, and one of the new techniques I'll be showing you today is called, or I'm calling it, straw blowing. You heard me right, straw blowing. So to start with, I've gone ahead and adhered my watercolor paper. I'm using Tim Holtz watercolor paper down with some painter's tape, also creating a nice border around it, so we're working just with the center of the panel. I am heat setting the Chit Chat image. This is the Happy Birthday from the Lawn Fawn Chit Chat set. Heat setting it, so I'm going to stamp it in Versamark and then sprinkle it with some clear embossing powder. I use Hero Arts clear embossing powder, by the way, and I'm going to heat set that. Now you may wonder why I adhered my card down to a cutting board. Got that idea from Jennifer McGuire. See how I'm able to use the handle and just move it around? It's very helpful for watercoloring and for my straw blowing technique that I'll be doing today. It just makes it a lot easier. Her idea was brilliant, so I totally copied it. I sure did. So now I'm taking this Love You S'more stamp set, also from the latest Lawn Fawn release, and I'm going to be using several images from that stamp set. So this is the little branch here that I'm going to be inking up with some Mama Elephant Hazel ink. Now this ink is a pigment ink, so it stays wet longer, so I'm able to do some heat embossing with this ink as well, so I don't have to worry about stamping it in Versamark. So I'm going to heat set the branch. I'm going to heat set all my little images here because I'm going to be using some ink refills in just a few minutes. So I'm going to sprinkle that down. I keep my embossing powder. The one I use the most of is clear, so I keep it in one of the large Glad disposable Tupperwares you can get from anywhere. And I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing with my little squirrel. And that little squirrel, cute. This is such a cute stamp set. Look at that little s'more on the stamp set. See up there to the left? That cute little s'more. It's adorable. You can add little faces to it. You're cute even though you're going to be eaten in just a minute. You're still a really cute image. So I'm going to heat set my little squirrel, and then we're going to be ready to move on to my fun straw blowing technique. Have I intrigued you by saying straw blowing so many times? Are you wondering what it is? I mean, it's exactly what it sounds like, but still, I'm just wondering if I've intrigued you at all. So I'm heat setting my little guy squirrel here and ready to move on to the next step of the card. I'm going to mask off my squirrel. Now this is a product I learned about from the latest online card class, the watercoloring card class. It's a liquid mask. It's called Liquid Frisket. Now I'm going to tell you it kind of stinks. It smells a little rotten, like a little rotten egg or something. Doesn't smell all the best, but you're only using it for very quick periods of time. Now I'm using this Liquid Frisket instead of a paper mask because I'm going to be doing ink refills on the card panel there, and I didn't want them to seep under the paper mask. So that's why I'm using the Liquid Frisket. It's a really great product. I'm very happy they introduced it to me. So I've gone ahead and cut out the little marshmallow guy, and I'm stamping a little winky face. He's like winking at you, like, I'm winking at you even though you're about to eat me. So now it's time to show you the straw blowing technique. It's exactly what it sounds like. I'm using this, I'm using distress ink refills. You can use whatever refills that you want to. And I'm just kind of dripping them down. Then I'm taking my straw and I am blowing the ink refills all around the paper. That's why I like the clipboard too. I'm able to move my clipboard around. I don't like dealing with the card panel itself. I like to be able to move things around without messing anything up. So that's another reason why I use that clipboard. Her idea was just absolutely brilliant. So I'm blowing it and blowing it and blowing it. I'm going to add a little bit more blue up there because that's an embossed image. I really need to make sure that the letters shine through. So I added more ink up there, as you can see, so you can see that happy birthday. And I got a little lightheaded, I'm not going to lie, after doing all this all this blowing. But I just love the look it leaves. It's so cool and very unique and not something that you can, obtain by just breathing onto it or trying to blow it with your mouth. It's nice to have that skinny straw to blow all that air around. It's really a lot of fun. So I'm going to go ahead and peel up my little border here, my painter's tape. Peel it carefully. Don't try to rip it up like a Band-Aid because you'll rip your card. So just peel it up, and then I love that we have all this going on in the middle of the card and everything around it. It's just clean and simple. Now you can see I got a little bit of ink over there to the right hand side. I'm going to take an X-Acto knife and kind of scrape that away, and the recipient's never going to know that it was there. And you'll see I did that off camera, but that's how I got rid of my little mistake. Whoops. So now I want to show you those lines. See those very subtle lines there to the right? I'm going to be using some translucent embossing paste and this stencil by Simon Says Stamp, It's actually the diagonal stripe stencil, but I turned it up and down because I wanted my lines to be vertical. So I'm just going to adhere this. This is the Wendy Vecchi translucent embossing paste. So I'm going to goop it out with my palette knife, and I just recently picked up this tool by Dreamweavers. It's an embossing paste spreader, and I love it. I'm able to evenly spread my embossing paste down. It also is long enough to cover your entire card panel if you were doing full coverage with your stencil. So I love it. If you don't have a credit card, use the edge of a credit card, use your palette knives. I use those still, cardstock, whatever. But I just love that little tool. Now I want to iron it off. See that happy birthday, because I put some embossing, or because I did some heat embossing, it's shiny right there. Well, I don't want that shine there. I want to iron that part off. So I've taken my card panel and put it in between some typing paper, copy paper, and that's an iron that I got from Amazon, 10 bucks. That's my craft iron. I keep it up here all the time, and I'm ironing off that embossing powder. You can see it on the typing paper. It just comes right off, and it's taking away that shine, and I just love it. I also iron a lot of cards that I watercolor after everything's dry to flatten it out, because anytime you add water or heat, it kind of warps your card. So that's another trick to flattening out your card panel. And now that shine is gone, so a recipient's going to be like, how in the world did they get that up there? How did they get that little speech bubble like that? So I gone ahead and cut some typing paper to match, just to mask over the center of the card there. I'm using some temporary adhesive, and I'm going to use these Prima Color Bloom. Now I did this really fast, but it's a full coverage spray, and it gives you this really pretty, it's got some shine to it, and it really just added a little bit of something. I didn't want that super white panel, so it added a little bit of color. And I actually did a product review. I don't do product reviews often, but I did do them on the Prima Blue color sprays, and I'll be sure to link that up below because they're very unique. You can get two different kind of sprays. You can do full coverage, which is what I did, and you can also do drips. And this, they're refillable, so you actually get 3 bottles out of 1. So it's pretty neat. So I'll make sure to link to that. So now I've gone ahead and did some watercoloring. That's my Sakura Koi watercolor set. And I colored the squirrel, and then I decided I needed to go over the branch the squirrel's sitting on because of all the ink that I added. It really washed out the stamped image. So I'm just going over that with the darker brown watercolor just to define that branch a little bit more. And I love that little koi watercolor set. It's so cute and fun. And my friend Jennifer Engel, she took it on an airplane and created this watercolor masterpiece. She took that, her watercolor set. I think that's hilarious. So now I've gone ahead and popped up my little marshmallow guy that's winking at us. And I'm going to, my embossing paste is dry. As you can see, it's all clear. And because it's embossing paste, it is raised. So it's got that dimension. So it's really, really neat. Now you can do Versamark if you want to, but I like that dimension. And I'm going to adhere my panel down to the left of the card. And then as a final step, I wanted to add a little blue strip to the card just to tie everything together. So I went ahead and cut it from the same watercolor cardstock and inked it up in the same distressing blue. And then I'm just going to adhere that down with some glue, and that's my card. I just love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. I think it's so much fun. Lots of technique into one little card, but it was so much fun to do. I enjoyed it a lot. So I hope that you enjoyed this card today. And if you're interested in any of the supplies, as always, they are linked up below in the YouTube description. I'll also link up the video link to the Prima color sprays. I really think you should check them out if you like sprays. They're pretty cool. And be sure to head on over to my blog at laurelbeard.org. I'll have some more pictures and some more information. And thank you guys so much for watching. You guys are awesome. See you next time.